All right, we're recording. So thank you guys so much for being here for our leader meeting. And I'm sorry to spring it on you last minute that we were going to record this because I normally don't. But tonight I felt it was very fitting that our meeting landed on the 1st. So literally it's a Monday, new week, new month, new goals, new priorities. And that is what we're talking about tonight is priorities as a leader. So really quickly, while I get things started, I would love to know just one or two priorities that you have as a leader for you personally. Type them in the chat and we're going to go over them in a second. Like I said before, I don't want to keep you guys tonight because we all have stuff going on. Yeah, so I'm just going to get started. So I took notes and y'all know how I am with my notes. Kind of like have to have notes when I'm passionate about something because it keeps me on task. So checking reports, yes, that's absolutely. So if you're maybe stuck wondering what is a priority, maybe you're a brand new leader and you're like, I don't know, what does she want me to say? Is this a trick question? I promise it's not a trick question.
It's totally a trick question.
First and foremost, everyone's going to have different priorities. Everyone is going to have different priorities. No one is here to tell you that your priorities are messed up. If you have priorities, like literally, like that's just my end goal for you is to have priorities. Okay. Can you watch the chat for me? Like, well,
Can I have a sheet of paper?
yeah. Off my notes, and they're quick notes too. It's little notes. It's not going to be long, I promise. If you are here, that means that you have opened the door to leadership. This business now is not like a hobby for you. If you're still in hobby mode, I don't know how to nicely say this. It's like shit or get off the pot time. So if you're still in hobby mode and you're thinking, I want to stay in hobby mode, really, really easy. I don't say this just to say it. You can always email account services and take a non-leadership role and let your team roll up to your sponsor because it's not fair to your team. You could have people under you who need this to work. They need this business. They need the income. They need the distraction from their everyday life. They need this as like identity crisis thing for me. You guys all know my why. I need something for me. I needed it for me. Okay. So just because it's not a priority for you doesn't mean it's not a priority for someone under you. So it's 100% okay. I'm telling you right now, your directors and your upline will respect you a lot more if you call and take a non-leadership role now than waiting till you hit director and decide it's not for you. Okay. So what exactly is a priority? Plain and simple, it's something that is a non-negotiable for you in your business. Okay. And like I said, that looks different for everybody. Okay. Looks different for everybody. But some of the things that I promise a lot of your leaders in your upline, these leaders that you look up to, that you're like, I want to be like them. I want to have a team like them. I want to be successful like them because successful people do what successful people do. I guarantee that these are just a few of the things that they all share as a priority. Okay. One, showing up. So the fact that you're here. Okay. The fact that Mindy's eating dinner, but she's still here. The fact that Laura's doing her makeup because she's got to go to work or wherever she's going, but she's still here. The fact that Jess is cooking dinner, but she's still here. Okay. That tells me as your upline that this is a priority for you. And that means that I don't care about anything else. You are 9 times out of 10 going to get my full attention as someone in your upline. You're here. So first and foremost, you're showing up for your director or your upline. Okay. Obviously your director gets total priority. So like, that's the other thing. The fact that I'm not even some of y'all's immediate director and you're here speaks volumes to me. And I can tell you that your SSD agrees with that as well. when she sees you show up on her meetings, that you're showing up for your SSD, your upline SSD. They notice. I promise you, they notice. Having your PRV situated and handled. Okay, I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with. Listen, you can't use the excuse of, well, I'm not active yet, so I guess I don't have to be a leader right now. No, that means it's not a priority for you. Your PRV is not a priority for you. But listen, if you put your team before your PRV, before your sales, before your sponsoring, what's going to happen is you're going to help build these amazing leaders who are eventually going to surpass you. You're going to have a bomb team. But if you don't put yourself first, this is where it's okay to be selfish with your personal business. If you don't put yourself first, you're going to lose your team. They're literally going to outgrow you. Okay. Do you need to scroll this?
Apologies.
There's
I'm
like,
jotting down a few notes, just thoughts in my
Okay.
head, stuff like that I won't touch on at the end of this.
okay. Training on your director's page. So if you're not a director, if you're a director and you're on here, first of all, I love you so much for being on here because you didn't even need to be on here. So thank you for making this a priority and showing up and being here for your leaders that are on this call too, and for your upline that's on this call. But if you're not a director yet, you should 100% be focusing on your director's page. You should be doing all of your trainings on your director's page. And then sharing the recording to your team page if you have one. Okay. So that's like the thing. Are you a leader that is like making excuses like, well, I'm not paid at title, or no one's doing anything on my team page? Well, I'm on a lot of y'all's team pages. I'm on a lot of y'all's personal pages, and you're all on Empowering Sense. You're all on your director's page. And remember what I said on the last call, when we're friends on social media, not only do your directors see what you're posting and what you're sharing, we also see what you're not sharing. Okay. So there's a direct correlation in the people that are constantly and consistently contributing to their director's page with trainings, and the people that are paid at title, the people that are promoting, the people that are building teams. They're building a solid foundation. You have to train. And if you think that you have nothing to train, that's like a whole nother conversation. Everyone has something to contribute to their director's page, everything. And if you honestly can't sit there and think, well, how am I working? Because you should be sharing how you're working. Then that probably means that you're not working. If you can't, and it sucks to say that, but you have to have self-reflection. And I'm not getting into that because that was the whole last call, the last training that I did, but you have to have self-reflection. Okay. This is going to sting a little bit because some people don't agree with it, but being paid at title is a priority. Being paid at title is a priority. And shouting out your team on your director's page. You can do whatever the hell you want to do on your own team page if you're not a director, but you should 100% be shouting out your people on your director's page. It's not your director's job to shout your people out. Now, listen, like, I'm the first person to say, like, I don't care, like, there's no such thing as too much recognition. I think everybody should be shouting everybody out. I will shout people out that aren't even on my team. I will shout people out like my accountability partner that has a completely different SSD as me. I will shout out all the people, but that's just who I am. And maybe recognition isn't your thing, but it needs to be a minimal priority for you. It doesn't need to be top tier priority, but it needs to be a minimal priority for you as a leader, because people just want to be seen. It's one of the easiest ways to recognize your team is to shout them out on your director's page. Plain and simple. The biggest reason why we have priorities is because what you make a priority trickles down into your team. So that being said, what you don't make a priority trickles down into your team as well. If you don't make it a priority to book parties, because, you know, it's not like we're a party company or anything, but if you don't make it a priority to front load, for example, Like, I know this is one thing that like Nikki is really good at. She does a booking blitz with you guys with Butterfly Kisses every month because booking parties is a priority for her. Okay. And that trickles down into her teams. So I know that Emily and Carly do booking blitzes with their teams now that they're directors. Okay. It's a priority. That being said, if it's not a priority to you to sponsor, then people on your team aren't going to sponsor. And you don't have to be great at something for it to be a priority for you. You guys know I'm super transparent about that. I suck at sponsoring. Well, what did I do last month? I was like, they need training on sponsoring, and I'm not the one to do it. So who am I going to ask? And I found people to talk to about sponsoring, and so much positive feedback came from that.
Yep. Even if you're not good at something, you can still make that a priority by finding the right person.
Yes.
And I'll touch on that a little bit after.
Why are priorities important? Because it shows your team and your upline. And yes, I know it sounds very hypocritical of me to sit at one time and tell you guys, it doesn't matter what other people think. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You know that I'm like the queen of saying, I don't care what other people think.
Petty.
But queen of petty. Thank you. Thank you. I want a crown. But it shows your team and it shows your upline that you're serious about this and that you're not all talk, no action. Because again, we all have people on our teams who are all talk and no action. Okay. So when you make a conscious effort to make priorities in this business as a leader, you are showing your upline and you are showing your team, not even just your director's team, but your team. I don't care if it's you have a team of 2 where it's just you and one other person, or stop it. Or if you have a team of 30 people under you, you are showing your team and your upline that you are serious about this. Okay. Because there's going to come a point in time where your uplines, teams, and groups grow so big and so wide. It's a good problem to have, but where we can't touch every single person every single month. So how do we figure out who to work with? The people who show us that they're serious about this, the people who show us that this is a priority for them. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be a hobbyist, but someone who tells me that they need this because they need to pay bills to like put food on their table, and they're showing me by doing all the things that we train them on, and they're showing up for everything and they're showing up for me, I'm going to show up for them before I show up for a hobbyist who is only here for their discount. Okay. Those are 2 different levels of training and coaching and mentoring right there. I love you. Good night. Go.
Yep. Good night, buddy.
Yep. Take your water. Go. Sorry, you guys.
Family is always a priority.
Okay, go. I'll deal with it in a minute. So how do you figure out what your priority should be? This is probably the easiest answer. That is probably the easiest answer is when in doubt, take it back to the 3 legs of success. That's where your priorities are. Your sales, your PRV. So what comes with PRV? You can't just say, oh yeah, I make PRV a priority. I know I'm going to get my 2,500 or my 3K every month or my 2K every month, or no, you got to break it down. How are you going to get that PRV? Well, we book parties. We have referral systems. We do, maybe we do mystery bags one month, or we have, we're going to promote club, whatever it is for PRV, but you've got to break it down into those systems. Okay. Fall back on your systems. And that is literally just whatever your daily and your weekly tasks are. Okay. So many have been shared with you. I've shared mine. Whitney has shared hers. I want to say if you're on the leaders page, SSD Chastity Robinson has shared hers. Katie Lassiter has shared her label systems. Those are actually on our team drive. And then just today, SSD Ray, she shared her daily stuff, and it is broken down legit the daily. There are tons of daily and weekly tasks that have been shared with you. Tweak them and find out what works for you, tweak them, but you can't just sit back and go, no one wants to book parties. Leaders don't do that, okay? Leaders don't do that. Your PRV being situated and handled needs to be a priority, flat out. Growing your team needs to be a priority, period. You can learn how to coach your team. You can learn how to do recognition the same way you learned as an essential or certified consultant how to make mail outs and samples, okay? Are those things that we need to do? 100%, but they are not income producing. And that's a whole other training that I've done with you guys. Go look for it on my YouTube channel. They're not income producing. The only thing that is really income producing when it comes to that stuff is following up, okay? That's it. So the last thing I'm going to leave y'all with before Bart talks is you are a leader, you need to act like one, okay? It's that same mentality of you want to be a director, act like a director, okay? Some of the best directors in our group are people who didn't even they acted like directors well before they hit director. There was no awful transition for their team, nothing, because it was the smoothest transition because there was nothing different that they needed to do when they promoted to director. It was literally just a title change for them, okay? Even if only one of your teamies is listening to you, I promise you, by the way, it's more than one person. But even if only one teamie is listening to you, it's worth it. Y'all know that my word for the year is one. Do it for the one person on your team. I don't care if you have a team of 30 people. I don't care if you have a team of 50 people.
I don't care if you got a team of 2 people. Doesn't matter.
If only one person is listening to you, then guess what? Now you know who to focus on. Okay. And I already talked about that. So, did you see those stuff that they were saying that was priorities for them? I asked. You didn't write it down?
I didn't jot it down because it's in here and I was going to do a quick copy paste because I like to do things digital. Fine.
We're not opposites at all, you guys, at all. He's got a whole freaking notepad over here, and I thought he was writing down everything that you guys were saying, so I'm sorry.
Oh, look at that.
That doesn't do anything for me. Where are you going to copy and paste it to? But where are you gonna control V it to?
Just trust your husband.
Now you're gonna make my computer lag, right? Because you're trying to open Google Keep.
I'm not trying to open Google Keep.
Whatever the hell that is. This is why I don't record. Okay. I love you so much. So much. I love you so much. Oh my God.
She wants to hurt me right now. A lot. But she can't because we're on camera.
So I'm just going back up here.
So I'm not getting off camera. I hope y'all are ready to be here all night long. Save me, please.
Okay.
I grew actual.
Stop it. You
eyeballs.
Don't read Mindy's comments. Talking about growing testicles. Now I can't put it on YouTube. No. Go ahead. You talk. I'm gonna read the comments.
So as she's going through that, all right. So just quick notes. I was kind of thinking about some of this stuff a little bit earlier, and I wanted to be able to refresh my thoughts that I jotted down on my phone and have them ready to go to talk. So exactly what Katrina's talking about as far as like setting priorities, right? I had a really interesting conversation a couple of days ago with another high-ranking NCO in my unit, and he talked to me a little bit about like urgent versus priority versus important, right? Like defining really what that is. And you look at urgent.
I'm doing what you were supposed to be doing.
I'm sorry.
I'm reading comments and then writing them down.
So you look at urgent as things that can affect me as a medic, right? I look at things that can affect like life, limb, or eyesight, right? And outside of the medical world, you look at it as like food, shelter, clothing, right? Like those are things that are going to affect your ability to be able to provide those things for yourself, for your family let's be real, those are urgent, right? The bill that needs to get paid to keep you in your house, yeah, that's urgent if that's like right around the corner kind of thing. But then from there, looking at something that is a priority, right? Anything that has to do with your business, with regards to customer care, with regards to taking care of your teammates, those are priorities, things that you do have to focus on in order to take care of those urgent things that are going to come along. And then there's those things that are important, right? Like, so Katrina and I have got our anniversary coming up here in a handful of days, right? In fact, today
It's
is
not the
first.
big one. It's okay. It's only 19 years.
Right, but how many 19th anniversaries are we going to get in our lifetime? One.
Technically 2, because we celebrate our wedding and our marriage.
Okay, but okay, 2. But right,
That's a
still, that's only
military
2 in a lifetime. That's important. See what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, my birthday is around the corner, and I don't want to admit how old I am. Please don't ask. I don't personally think of it as important. She likes to make fun of me for it, so it's important to her. Like, you got to identify those differences. But with priorities themselves, I tend to treat setting priorities the same way that I would go about almost like goal setting, right? And we hear a lot about like the 5 W's, right? The who, what, where, when, why, and the how. But I've always thought about it as changing the actual order of those 5 W's. Your why is absolutely should be number 1. It should be the priority. That is what keeps you going. Like we talk all the time about, you have to get on and go live about your why. Why did you join Sensi? And that is so super important. You think about that, like imagine being on a bike ride or being on a drive, cross country, whatever it may be. After you're, 90 miles in or 900 miles in, if you're driving, the why kind of disappears. You just continue driving, you continue pedaling, you continue, walking, whatever it may be that you're doing. But if you don't look back at why you're doing it, you just kind of get, for lack of a better way of putting it, lost in the sauce. You're just kind of lost in the run-of-the-mill everyday thing, and you're not really focusing on why you're there. And it's that why that will keep you motivated to keep pedaling, to keep pushing that gas pedal, to keep walking, running, whatever it may be. Second comes your who, right? Who are you? And not just who are you, who can help you, right? Who can help you with that priority, whatever it may be. Remember, for all of you here as leaders, you've got a team. If your goal is to hit, 10,000 GWV, well, that's great. Like there's 3 people in this entire group that are going to hit, 10K on their own, right? And be like, oh, yeah, that's my GWV. I'm quite proud of you. Don't get me wrong. You've got your team that's there as well. It's a whole lot easier if you've got a 10K GWV to turn around and say, you know what, hey, I know I've got 3K, you've got another 2K, you've got 1, and be able to kind of break that down. So kind of learn how to give a portion of that out. And that kind of goes back to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Giving parts of the job out to other people. What's the word? Help me out here, one. Come on, lady. You're leaving me flapping. All right, cool, whatever. Figure out a way to be able to kind
delegate.
Thank you. Love you. Love. Awesome. Yay. I appreciate it. I don't know why I lost that completely.
I can't lie. I was paying more attention to catching up on y'all's comments. I wasn't listening.
Well, had I not, yeah, I know. Had I not failed in my task ahead of time, you wouldn't be doing that now. So
Listening to my husband is not a priority for me. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
We're just gonna
I'm
go this
joking.
way.
Joking.
All
Sorry.
right, sorry.
I don't want to get you guys dizzy. I'm sorry.
So I look at what of those 5 W's, the what comes third, right? What do you believe in? What's your mission? What are your values? What is it? And it kind of comes back to the why. Like, what is your absolute mission set? What helps define the requirement for that priority to you? But in addition to that, what can you provide, and what support or resources do you need for that priority in and of itself? Like this thing that you were getting after. When comes forth, right? And that is, whether it's priority or goal setting, whatever it may be, you kind of base that back off, is it urgent, is it a priority, or is it important, right? You can identify how much time you have to really get after it. Where comes fifth? And this one I'll actually take back to our a quote from our current commanding general here at Fort Jackson. He says, where my boots are is where I am. And it's a really, really interesting statement, right? No matter what's going on, no matter what the priority is, what the task is, you name it, he's where his boots are, wherever he lands, that's where he is and he's ready to do business. That's a really, really nice way to look at
I
it.
like that.
Just other thoughts that kind of came along with this. Try not to set more than 3 significant priorities at any given point in time.
Does that sound familiar with Chloe and Katie? And I will even give credit to Nikki
Mhm.
with the top three priorities for
Right.
the Post-it. Look
Not,
at her. She's like, no, I didn't say that. Yeah, Post-its. Yeah.
not more than 3 priorities at a time. Why? Well, a lot of people say they can multitask. A lot of scientists have proven that you can't actually multitask. You're just bouncing back and forth very quickly. And eventually there starts to be greater and greater lag time between transitioning from one task to the other.
So, like, I just want to give an example. Today's the first as a leader. As a director,
Says the man.
We have-
Thanks, Mindy.
we have certain things that we prioritize on the first of the month. Okay. As a leader, you should have things that you prioritize on the first as well. Okay. As a lead through a superstar, it's obviously going to be very different from what a director prioritizes on the first. Obviously, like as a director, like you guys know, like we try to get our recognition emails done, we get our banners done. If we've got a new team challenge going, if some of us are really put together, not me, and they email their whole team and their group and stuff with like a newsletter type thing. I want to be on that level, but I'm not there yet. But as like a lead through a superstar, some of the things that should be on your radar on the first are checking. This was a big pet peeve of mine. And I feel like I can speak for the other directors on this call too. We all put up a goal post today in all of our team pages. And it's very frustrating to not see all the leaders be the first people to comment on those. Like, yeah, I want to know what my certifieds and my essentials goals are because yeah, they're going to be my future leaders. But my lead stars and superstars, y'all are my next directors. And if you can't give me 5 minutes of your time to put your goals down in black and white, why are you scared? Are you scared? Because if you just don't tell me your goals, that means you don't have goals. And if you don't have goals, then this is not a priority for you. So I'm not going to work with you. I said what I said. I know it sounds mean, but it's the truth. The more, who was it, Nikki? Was it Amber Ryan that said on that last call that Chloe did, how literally putting your goals down on paper, putting them in front of you where you can see every single day, okay? One of those things, the best thing you can do is answer that goal post. I want to say our SSD put it on the leaders page today too. It's in every director's group of like, hey, new month, new goals. What are your goals for PRV,
That's right,
sponsoring parties, any other goal that you have? If you want to quit smoking or if you want to declutter your garage, whatever it is, I want to know so I can cheer you on. Everyone wants to cheer you on.
Babe, I want to declutter the garage this weekend.
You can go do you, whatever.
See, she just cheered me on.
Get the Christmas tree out for me.
That's gonna be right.
But I wanted, I was looking at y'all's comments and there are two people stuck out to me big time.
Can I finish?
No. Leaders find solutions, Jess Torres. Thank you very much. Leaders find solutions no matter what. It doesn't mean that you have to have a solution. It means that you have to find a solution. It doesn't mean that you have all the answers. It means that you know where to go look for those answers. You know who to go ask for those answers. Okay. I didn't know. I knew y'all needed to hear about sponsoring, but it wasn't going to come from me because I'm not good at it. So I found a solution for it. Amen. Mindy Hilton, if you don't make it a priority, then you cannot get mad when your team doesn't make it a priority. Amen. We don't ask our teams to do anything that we aren't doing or we aren't trying to do. Okay. But what I love some of these, because some of these, I didn't even hit on these, but these 100%, I love that these are some of y'all's priorities. Somebody said, finding the positive in any situation, like when things just like go sideways and you find the positive in that situation. Yes, that's a really great priority to have. Encouraging your team and just knowing that, letting them know that you're there for them and that you're encouraging them. I love that that's a priority for you. Making goals. Yeah, we just talked about that. Making goals. A lot of people actually said setting goals, but Shonda is one of them. And leading by example. Leading by example. Again, we don't ask anyone to do anything that we aren't doing, or we haven't tried to do, or we aren't currently trying to do. The whole point of this call is for you guys to understand that if you don't make it a priority, your team's not going to make it a priority. It literally trickles down. I don't care if you have a team of 1 or a team of 100, it trickles down. And there, of course, are going to be those people that are going to boss out regardless. Okay. Those are the people that you're going to be mad when they surpass you. And then they don't ever view you as their leader. Okay. That's a shitty position to be in. Like, I don't ever want anybody to feel like that. Okay. So you literally, like I said at the beginning of this call, it's shit or get off the pot time. You have to figure out if this is a priority for you, because there are people under you right now. I can guarantee you, I could name every single leader in Empowering Sense group. There is someone in every single leadership lineage that, I don't care. There's someone in every single leadership lineage, whether you have 1 person or 100 people, that person needs this. That person is going to boss out. They are going to surpass you if you do not get your shit together. Okay. So like, let's get your shit together now. Let's figure it out now. Especially when you have so many people in your upline that are rooting for you, but you can't just talk about it. You got to be about it too. So
With all of that,
I'll let you finish. Sorry.
I mean, just like totally like through, giant wrench and everything and all good.
Whatever.
Here I was like, just nice, like steady stroke, just cruising across the lake and you're just I'm gonna take this oar away from you. It's fine. It's all good. I love you.
I love you.
I love you more. So with all that, like I was saying,
Close it
not
out,
more
babe.
than 3 significant priorities at any given point in time. And set very clear parameters for those priorities, right? Absolutely. Quantify it if you possibly can. Like
SMART goals.
You know what? Like exactly, right? Like you want to take that time to quantify those priorities.
Who
like,
knows
take a
what
look at
SMART?
them.
Who knows what SMART goals stand for? Put it in the chat.
Like
SMART. Who knows what it is? Put it in the chat. Anybody? Keep talking.
plan on it.
No,
No.
I want to see if they know.
So with those parameters, try and quantify that, right? And you can take that back to like whether it's urgent, priority, important, right? Just to be able to have something, quick and easy to utilize, or you can turn around and identify them as SMART goals. However you go about it, quantify those priorities to the best you can, right? Like if I'm looking at bills that I absolutely have to pay to have a home to be able to live in, you know what, that right there, that's priority number 1 versus like, I want this, I don't know, new clothes or any new TV or whatever else, that might be quite a bit lower in the priority list. Like really take that time and identify those. Set yourself a timeline for anything, whether it's goals or priorities, always set yourself a timeline. This helps to hold you accountable, right? We've talked about this before. You owe you, right? We talk all the time about how, you go to the store, you go to a restaurant and like the service is poor, or, the item you bought and you pulled out of the package and was already broken, and no one has any issues in turning back around and handing that back to the manager and saying, hey, I need this replaced, or you know what, my service was terrible and I need to tell you about it. We're always happy to hold somebody else accountable. When was the last time any of us have looked ourselves in the freaking mirror and said, you know what, you're the reason that you're failing? When was the last time any one of us has looked back in the mirror and said, you owe you, talking to yourself and saying, look, you're not going to get ahead unless you get off your shtuckus and do the damn job.
And it's okay because we've all been there.
So
Just so you know, we've all been there.
doing that will help you hold yourself accountable. So set your own damn timeline. But on that note, with being accountable, be accountable to others. Tell somebody what your priorities are. Tell your leader what your priorities are.
Comment on your
Tell your
director's goalpost.
Tell your significant other what your priorities are. I don't care. Tell your dog what your priorities are. I don't care. Preferably somebody who's actually going to say, hey, you need to stay on top of it, you know, because Kavic's not going to do it. I know Valley over here is going to look at me and be like, I want more food.
She's sleeping on the couch.
Right,
She
she's
doesn't
knocked
care.
out. She doesn't care. But have a partner in crime that is going to keep you on that bank heist, right?
Accountability
Like somebody
partners.
that's going to keep.
We
you
have quite a few. I know
going.
that y'all are accountability partners on here, and I love it. I love it because I know Mindy and Emily. Well, look at that. They both promoted to director. Who's the next director on here? I know that Jess
Oh,
Carter is
that one.
accountability partners. Hell yeah, look at her. She's like, yep, me. That's me. Yep, I see you, Jess.
Mhm.
She your accountability partners on this call too, I think. I
Look.
can't see the whole list.
Quick roll up. 5 W's from here out.
Shonda.
Why,
right?
who, what, when, where. That's your order. I'm telling you, it will help you to set your priorities. It'll help you to set your goals. You run that route like I was talking about earlier. Minimize the number of priorities you have at any given point in time, set your parameters, set a timeline, and be freaking accountable. And I promise you, you can absolutely get those priorities lined up so that you can achieve your goals. And in fact, if you use that same pattern to set your goals, you get ahead. But the only person who's going to get you there is you. It is not your job as leaders to kick your subordinates in the butt and tell them, hey, you got to get off your butt. It's like the saying goes, you
No,
can lead a
because-
horse to water, you can't make him drink. Guess what? Here's the fire hose, put the information out there. Hopefully they can try to take a sip off that fire hose and get that little nugget of information out of there that you're trying to provide to them. But at some point in time, they're going to have to crap or get off the freaking pot and take care of them damn selves. That's what I got.
So SMART goals really quick. Specific, measurable. Don't whisper to me. Specific, measurable. A comes next, right? Right. Am I spelling it right?
That is how you spell smart.
Okay. Attainable. Thank you, Mindy and Nikki, for putting in the chat. SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time
Time bound.
time bound.
Yeah.
Like have a specific time range for it. You can't just say I'm gonna hit director. That's not a SMART goal.
I'm going to hit director.
No, you're not.
Wow. Way to crap on my dreams.
But it's not.
You see what I put up with?
I'm done with you. I can't.
You will never be done with me. You can't be.
Okay. But literally the first step for you guys is this right here. You're here. You're showing up no matter what you're doing. Laura's on her way to work. Nikki was eating, Mindy was eating. Like it never will bother me if you are trying to get something else done. The things that bother me, and yes, I'm saying this and putting it on YouTube, and I'm probably going to piss people off. One of my biggest pet peeves is I can't be there. That's when my kids go to bed.
We're both here.
My kids don't go to bed till 8:30, but
Kids, go to bed.
but it's the meetings start at 8 always. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't because it's my kids' dinner time. I'm literally asking you to show up for one meeting once a month. Once a month. You can't look at your teenagers and tell them to figure out dinner for themselves or put something in the crock pot in the morning, or ask your significant other, hey, can you handle this? Like, this is important to me. And that's what it is I think you're scared to tell someone else outside of this business that it's important to you. You think you're going to get made fun of? Do you think someone's going to be like, whatever? Let them laugh. Let them say all the things that they want to say. But when you start making life-changing income, and again, just because you haven't made it doesn't negate the fact that other people haven't. Okay. It will happen for you. I promise it will. So I have had people show up on meetings where I get it. It's bedtime for your little one and they won't go to sleep without you right next to them. Put an AirPod in one ear, just one ear. I'm not asking, you don't have to have your camera on. You don't have to speak. You don't even have to type. It's the fact that you're showing up and you're here.
Mhm.
You're showing up regardless. So that's why I loved seeing so many people doing dishes, cooking, eating dinner. Freaking Laura, she's at work. Look at her. She's at work. She's been on meetings before when she worked at Waffle House where she was literally cooking, where she was literally like taking people's orders. And she was showing her customers, like, I'm on a meeting right now because Waffle House is my side hustle. Scentssy's really where it's at. And that's how she got new customers. Okay. The fact, yeah, Lisa's here and she's all messed up on pain meds. You're another reason why I recorded this, because I knew you probably wouldn't remember it. But she's all messed up on pain meds because she had major dental surgery today. But like, she's here. Y'all are here and you're making it a priority. And I promise, I just want you to know that it doesn't go unseen. Okay.
And Katrina's right. Let people joke, let them laugh, let them whatever else, right? Love thy haters is a great way to look at this one. Like, if they're gonna turn around and talk trash and say you can't do it, or you're goofy for doing this, or whatever else, you know what? They can talk trash.
I used to like,
you're on the way to the bank, right? When you are dropping.
I used to like that
stupid
saying,
paychecks,
like let them laugh.
Let 'em
You're
be
the
mad.
whole way to the bank. Let them laugh. Like,
mhm.
keep hustling until the haters ask if you're hiring. Yeah.
Ooh.
Keep
Oh, I
keep
like that.
hustling
That's good.
until all these people making fun of you are on your team one day.
Mhm.
Okay. How crazy is that? The people that are making fun of you, that they don't understand why it's a priority to you, why it's important to you.
Oh my God, you sell Scentsy? I would never sell Scentsy
Yeah.
6 months later.
Oh, it's an MLM. Isn't that a pyramid scheme? Know your shit. Know your shit to be able to have an educated conversation with them.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, hell, 5 years from now, they might be on your team. They might be on your
Ooh,
team.
Let them laugh while I personally pay off our debt. Good on you, man.
Yep.
Good on you. And like, take my family to Disney and pay in cash.
Yep. And I
Good.
will
You
have
need to
the
show me
income,
how to
I
do
will
that.
have the income disclosure attached to this video, by the way. So I am going to stop recording. Whoop. And I'm not going to end the call because I almost did that. Oh my gosh, I almost hung up like last time.